North Strathfield is one of those railway stations that many trains pass through every day, yet few people stop to consider just how fascinating this small suburban station really is. Here, passenger trains and heavy freight traffic share the same corridor in a carefully choreographed movement of steel and electricity. At times, multiple trains can occupy this stretch of railway at once, suburban passengers moving through the city network, while long freight trains operate alongside them on their own dedicated line. It is a place where journeys constantly cross paths. This is North Strathfield, a station where the trains are always arriving, departing and passing one another by. Located on Sydney's Northern Line between Strathfield and Concord West, North Strathfield Station has served the local community for more than a century. At first glance it appears to be a modest suburban stop, with a single island platform and a traditional brick station building standing between the tracks. But beneath that quiet appearance lies a rich story of railway history, evolving infrastructure and everyday community life. North Strathfield first opened in 1917. When it was originally proposed, it was to be called Waratah, named after the surrounding suburb at the time. However, the station itself only came into existence after local residents strongly petitioned for its construction. At the time, the railway authorities were not planning to place a station here, but the growing community wanted direct access to the railway. Eventually their request was granted and the station was built to serve the developing suburb around the rail corridor. More than 100 years later, the original station building still stands on the island platform, a reminder of the period when Sydney's suburban rail network was expanding rapidly to support growing communities. The architecture of the station reflects the practical yet durable style used by the New South Wales Government Railways during the early 20th century. The brickwork, decorative awnings, supports and long platform canopy were designed to be functional while still giving the station a sense of civic presence within the suburb. Stations like this were not simply transport stops. They were built as important places of community infrastructure, places where people gathered, commuted and connected with the wider city. Even today, North Strathfield remains an active part of local life. Passengers wait beneath the awnings for their trains, some heading towards Sydney CBD, others travelling further along the Northern Line towards the outer suburbs. For many commuters, this station has been part of their daily routine for years, sometimes decades. Railway stations often fade into the background of everyday travel, but they quietly shape the rhythm of suburban life. One of the more unusual and thoughtful features of North Strathfield Station can be found inside the waiting room. A book exchange library for customers, which is amazing. People can bring their books in, access books and donate them. Please feel free to take a book. Please bring any books which you'd like to donate to our station library. So I think that's amazing that they've given the opportunity for people to pass their time reading a book while they're waiting for their train. Wonderful. It is a simple idea, but one that reflects the sense of community that still exists at many local stations. In a network that carries millions of passengers every year, small touches like this remind us that the railways are still very much about people. While the station itself may appear quiet, the railway corridor that runs through North Strathfield is anything but. A wide variety of trains pass through here every day, representing different parts of the New South Wales railway network. Modern Waratah suburban trains handle much of the commuter traffic along the line, moving thousands of passengers through the Sydney metropolitan area every day. Alongside them, a long-serving Tangara fleet continues to operate in suburban services. A familiar sight for Sydney commuters since the late 1980s. More recently, the new D-set intercity trains have also begun appearing on the corridor during testing and operations, representing the next generation of passenger rolling stock designed for longer distance travel across the network. Together, these trains represent different eras of railway technology, operating side by side on the same stretch of track. But what truly makes North Strathfield unique is the presence of heavy freight traffic moving through the same corridor. Long intermodal freight trains regularly pass the station, hauled by powerful diesel locomotives as they move containers between ports, freight terminals and interstate destinations. To allow these freight trains to operate efficiently alongside frequent passenger services, the railway here includes an important piece of infrastructure known as the freight dock. As freight trains approach from the north, they descend into this grade-separated section of track, diving beneath the main passenger lines, before re-emerging further along the corridor. By sending freight traffic underneath the suburban railway, the system allows both passengers and freight trains to operate without conflicting with each other. It is a clever engineering solution that helps keep the entire rail network running smoothly. The freight corridor here sees a remarkable variety of locomotives and operators. Large diesel locomotives such as the NR class and 82 class regularly haul long container trains through the area. These trains are part of the vast freight system that keeps goods moving across New South Wales and beyond. While passenger trains often capture most of the public attention, freight operators like these are a crucial part of Australia's transport network, quietly moving enormous volumes of cargo every day. North Strathfield is also witnessing the next stage in Sydney's railway evolution. Construction associated with the Sydney Metro project is reshaping parts of the rail corridor nearby. When completed, the Metro line will provide faster connections between the city and the suburbs to the north, adding yet another layer to Sydney's expanding transport network. The railway landscape around this station continues to change, just as it has many times over the past century. The influence of the railway can even be seen beyond the station itself, in the surrounding streets. One example is a simple electric cabinet painted to resemble one of Sydney's suburban train sets. It is a small piece of local street art, but it highlights how deeply the railways has become part of the culture in the area. For many residents here, trains are simply part of everyday life. More than 100 years after it first opened, North Strathfield Station continues to serve passengers, freight operators, and the surrounding community. It may not be the largest or busiest station on the network, but its mix of history, infrastructure, and daily railway activity makes it a fascinating place to observe the movement of trains through Sydney. Passenger services, freight traffic, and future metro lines all intersect here. At North Strathfield, journeys are constantly arriving, departing, and passing each other by.
Sometimes the wrong train can take you to the right place. A